I was around that band a lot in the 90s. You probably don't know that, but so I got to know Dime a bit, and got to see him play live 20 times. And I hope you take this as a compliment, because I mean it as a very respectful compliment. I heard, because we're in the biz, you start hearing rumblings that you guys were going to do something.
Yeah.
6-9 months before it happened. And, of course, the first question people ask, well, who's going to play guitar? And the minute I heard it was your name, I was like, oh, that's definitely going to work.
No, I do. I appreciate it, man.
So I'm glad you take that as a compliment, because you're one of the only guys on the planet I think could both honor Dime and play the music. Does it make sense the way I put that?
Yeah, well, I mean, my whole thing is like whenever anybody asks me, like when it was all, this is when Vinnie was still alive, it was just like, there was always one, hey, Zakk, man, if the fellas ever do it or whatever, did a reunion, to celebrate Dime and everything like that, would you be, I go, of course I would. It's just like, I remember Rob Halford, we were opening for Judas Priest over in Europe on some of the shows. And, down in, when we were down in South America, when we first started doing it. And Rob was like, Zakk, this is a real beautiful thing that you guys are doing. And I was like, thanks, Rob. He just goes, I said, it wasn't a matter of if I'll do it, it's when I'll do it. Because I just equate it to, like with Jimi Hendrix and Eric Clapton, like with their relationship. If Mitch and Noel would have said, Eric, we want to go celebrate Jimmy.
Yeah.
Would you sing and play Jimmy's stuff?
Yeah.
How? Of course, Eric Clapton's going to say yes.
Yeah, I get that.
He was there. If you laid, I laid Dime to rest.
Yeah.
As a pallbearer. So, like, what do you think I'm going to do? It's my buddy.
Yeah. But we live in this complicated world where people do silly things, say silly stuff. So the other reason I thought it was going to work is you have so much respect from people as a musician. It registered in my mind that, like, if anybody was going to stand there and sort of navigate it, it was you. I literally can't think of anybody else that could be in that spot.
No, I think about it. I appreciate it. No, but I mean, I just always look at it like if Dime and Vinnie were at the soundboard, and we go, we got you guys an early Christmas present. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And they were like, all right, man, because the guys were always about having a good time, everyone partying and just barbecuing and whatever. And they go, check this out. We got a little something for you.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden, the guys are just sitting out at the front of the house or whatever, and then all of a sudden the curtain drops and it's just no, we new level, and the kabuki comes down and it's me, Charlie, Phil, and Rex, and Zakk and Charlie wanted to get you an early birthday present or whatever, and they'd be going, I can't believe these jackasses are playing on, because, I mean, they'd be like, I'm just saying, me, if it was Dime doing it, Dime and Vinnie doing it up there with me and Charlie playing either, Ozzy, Anthrax songs or the Black Label, whatever, it'd just be like, me and Charlie would be like crying, laughing, and just like watching Dime doing the solo with No More Tears or whatever. It would sound like Dime playing it, regardless, because he's not going to escape that. Dime could play Eruption, and it's going to sound, you could listen to it and go, yeah, it sounds like Dime playing Eruption.
Yeah.
Even if it's note for note, it's just going to sound like that because of his touch and his feel.
Yeah.
So just like when Randy Rhoads is playing Paranoid, it sounds like Randy Rhoads playing Paranoid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but no, I just always picture them every night. You know what I mean? Just like, I just picture them either, because especially when Rita's over there on the side of the stage and everything like that, it's just like, yeah, they'd be, especially those two guys, because they just love life so much.
Yeah, one of my favorite memories of Dime is they were playing the Aragon Ballroom, and I'm sure you played there many times, right? You must have.
Yeah, totally.
So, there's this, like, it's the old school thing where there's like the balcony, like the opera singer spot.
Totally.
So I was up there, and like typical them, they had me drinking whatever the hell they drank before shows. And I'm not a drinker.
With a spare liver and pancreas on ice.
So I'm up there. I'm feeling a little wobbly. And I don't know what the hell they were playing. And Dime spots me. And like he locks eyes with me. And for a minute, he's just looking at me, and he's playing the craziest.
Just shredding.
Never doesn't look at the guitar at all. and he's looking at me like that thing he would do, like, yeah. And I'm like for a minute, he's just I'm like, why are you playing for me, mother? But that's the way he was, right?
Totally.
It's like, I know you're watching me.
No, totally, man. He was the best, without a doubt.